Imagine you've been challenged. Someone insults you or loudly calls you out. Your initial reaction is fight or flight. Adrenaline pumping, heart racing. You step up to meet the challenge. But now what? What happens next? The problem is that challenges are tricky. One wrong move, and you lose. You don't want that. You want to make the right choice. Challenges are also inevitable. They're like taxes or movie sequels. As long as you live, they'll come. The difference is how you choose to react. And that's where the Stoic playbook comes in, which is what we're going to teach you in this video. Join us as we give you a plan for how to react to challenges, what to about them, and how to win, given the cards in your hand. The first, and arguably the hardest step, is pause. Seriously. For a moment, before you react, stop. This could be the most powerful tool in your arsenal. Because in that pause, in that tiny sliver of time, you create space. Space to breathe. Space to feel. Space to choose. Feel the anger. Feel the frustration. Even the fear. Observe them like a scientist looking at your mind. What are they saying? Let's use an analogy. Your mind is like a raging river, full of rapids and rocks. Challenges are the boulders trying to capsize your boat. Now, most people try to navigate that river by constantly looking backwards at the rapids they already survived, or frantically peer ahead. They're never actually steering the boat. The mindfulness in a pause is about bringing your attention to this moment, feeling your feet on the ground, taking a deep breath, noticing the tension in your shoulders, and actively releasing it. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. His thinking was, this moment is all I have, so I'm going to give it my absolute best. This is the Aurelius way to live. No regrets dragging you down from the past. No anxieties paralyzing you from the future. Just pure, unadulterated focus on the task at hand. It's about making this moment your masterpiece. So let's look at a real-life example. It could be a questioner asked in front of your co-workers that feels like it was meant to make you look foolish, or a scathing email. It could be anything. Your first instinct is usually to fire back, to defend, to deflect, and to completely lose your cool, which is often what your enemy wants. Don't give them the satisfaction. Take your time instead and make the right choice. There's a saying about the value of a pause. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That pause is your power. Use it to gather intelligence. Ask the questions that matter. For example, what are the stakes in this challenge? What's really going on here? Is this a hill worth dying on? Or should I let it go? Assess, analyze, and breathe. Because here's the counterintuitive truth. Pressure can sharpen focus. It's like squeezing a tube of toothpaste. Everything gets concentrated. The key is to direct that concentration. You may have only seconds. So, acknowledge the challenge. Then ask yourself, is this truly under my control? It's like triage on a battlefield. You don't waste time on a scratch when someone's bleeding badly. Identify the biggest threat. Prioritize. And then And only then, pick your weapon. Because you do have a secret weapon, something deeper and more effective than just lashing out or running away. It gives you a way to actually win when you're facing a challenge and come out stronger on the other side. We're talking about grounding ourselves in something bigger than the immediate problem, our core principles. The Stoics counseled us to respond to everything with reason and virtue. They boiled it down to 4 key things: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Let's figure out how to use them in the real world, under pressure. First is wisdom. This is about seeing the situation clearly, understanding the root cause, and making informed decisions. Next, justice. This one's crucial. Is the challenge fair? Is it based on truth? Does your response align with what's right? Then there's courage. It's about doing what's right, even when it's difficult. It's about standing up for yourself and your values, even when you're afraid. Finally, moderation. This is about avoiding extremes, both in your actions and your emotions. It's about the middle ground, the balanced approach. Ask yourself, am I reacting in a way that's proportional to the challenge? Because not every challenge deserves your energy. The secret is identifying what really matters. In modern life and on the internet, a lot of challenges just do no matter. A lot of the time, it's the equivalent of someone disagreeing with your opinion on the best brand of coffee. And is that really worth your time and mental space? If you're wasting a lot of time on this kind of argument on social media, the best thing is not to win the argument. It's to get off social media. No offense, but if losing the argument gets you to do something more productive, it's probably better to lose. That's why you need to separate your core values from any superficial concerns. Your core values are the foundations of your house. You defend them fiercely, because if they crumble, the whole thing collapses. Superficial concerns are the paint color in the guest bathroom. You can let them slide. You can even ignore them. Our energy and time is limited. You only have so much fuel in the tank. Are you going to waste it on a pointless squabble, or save it for a battle that actually moves you forward? Let's say someone challenges your work ethic. They say you're not pulling your weight on a project. If this is at work, it deserves a serious response. But what if it's happening on an anonymous forum? That stuff barely matters. Sometimes the best response is no response at all. Because arguing over insignificant details is like trying to win a marathon by sprinting the first 100 yards. So the first thing you have to decide is if the challenge merits a response. If the answer is no, move on. If the answer is yes, then let's think about what you can do. To deal with that, we suggest a framework, a mental tool that the Stoics figured out centuries ago, which we call the circle of control. The basic idea is this: life throws a ton of stuff our way. Some of it we can directly influence. Some of it we can't. We waste so much energy stressing about the stuff we can't control that we actually sabotage our ability to impact the things we can. If someone challenges your idea in a meeting, you can't control if they agree with you or if they're having a bad day. What you can control is how you react. You can control whether you get defensive and let their challenge derail you, or whether you use it as an opportunity to refine your thinking. Epictetus put it this way: some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and in one word, whatever are not our own actions. Basically, focus on your actions and reactions. Forget everything else. If you're challenged and then spend all your time and mental bandwidth obsessing over things you can't change, you're giving away your power. You're letting the other person, the hater, win by default. So let's come up with a better approach. Because we can do better. One thing we can do is seek counsel. But don't just vent to anyone who will listen. Strategically seek out individuals whose perspective you genuinely respect. Find those who will challenge you, who will push back gently, who might even tell you something you don't want to hear. Those are the voices that will actually help you grow and ultimately come out on top. Look for individuals who embody the values you aspire to: integrity, resilience, empathy. People who have demonstrated good judgment in the past even, and especially, when it was difficult. These are the people who can help you see the situation clearly, even when you're in the grip of the passions. Think about it. Evidence isn't just facts and figures, it's testimonials, it's case studies, it's the quiet confidence in your voice, because you know you've done your homework. Nobody likes a know-it-all. But everyone respects someone who is prepared, thoughtful, and genuinely believes in what they're saying. So when you're challenged to do stuff, like explain yourself or justify your position, find someone who can help you to do this, the honest way. Remember that preparation isn't just about knowing your stuff. It's about controlling the narrative, owning the room, and turning a challenge into an opportunity to shine. Confidence comes from competence. And competence comes from relentlessly preparing for every possible scenario. Because in the arena of ideas, only the prepared survive, and only the prepared thrive. And one way to prepare is to do something uniquely Stoic. It's to imagine the worst-case scenario, and then prove to yourself that you can survive it. Imagine that you completely bomb your presentation. The CEO looks unimpressed, your colleagues are snickering, and your outfit looks bad. Now ask yourself, will you actually die? Will the sun stop rising? Of course not. You'll learn, you'll adapt, and you'll come back stronger. The power comes from realizing that even the worst-case scenario isn't truly catastrophic. By accepting the possibility of failure, you actually free yourself to perform better. First, the obvious. Direct confrontation. This is the philosophy behind, you come at me, I come at you harder. It has its place, in the military, for example. But is your situation like that? Think long and hard before you blow up a conflict. Because sometimes, all that confrontation gets you is a bigger, messier fight. Another option is reasoned argument. Here are the facts. Here's why you're wrong. Let's have a rational discussion. But what happens when the other person isn't interested in facts or reason? What if they're operating on pure emotion or bad faith? Because that's what they're rewarded for on a tech company's platform. You'll just be talking to a brick wall and wasting your breath. We also have another option: strategic withdrawal. Sometimes the best move is to not move, to disengage, to walk away. It might feel like you're losing, but are you really losing if you're preserving your peace of mind and avoiding a pointless victory that won't change anything? Especially on the internet, this is often the better choice. Saving the time is usually worth more than dunking on someone anyway. To put it another way, going for a walk and getting outdoors is better for you overall than scoring meaningless internet points. So before you rise to a challenge, make sure that's in your best interests and actually serves your interests. To do that, your response has to align with your principles. What do you stand for? What are your values? If you compromise on those, you've already lost, no matter how clever your response might seem. Marcus Aurelius said, "Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed." In some cases, there may be a physical component, but whenever there isn't, he's got a point. It's not about denying the challenge, it's about controlling your reaction to the challenge. It's about choosing how you let it affect you. Seneca put it this way, it's about maintaining your virtue no matter the situation. The outcome is often outside of your control, but how you respond, your integrity, your effort, that's 100% yours. Think of yourself, at the moment you are challenged, as someone who is standing at a crossroads. Each path looks equally treacherous. You could stand there forever, agonizing over which one is the right one. But guess what? The right one is the one you choose to make right. It's the one you commit to, pour your energy into, and navigate with unwavering focus. The moment you commit, the world starts to shift. Opportunities appear where you didn't see them before. Your brain starts working overtime, finding solutions you never even considered. Why? Because you've given it a direction, a purpose. You've said, "This is it. This is the path I'm on." You might be thinking, what if I choose the wrong path? Let's be real here. At times you will make mistakes. You will stumble. But the key is to learn from those stumbles, adjust your course, and keep moving forward. There's an incredible relief that comes with decisive action. It's like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. The anxiety starts to fade, replaced by a surge of energy and purpose. Suddenly, you're not just reacting to the challenge, you're shaping it. You're in control. So, ditch the endless what-ifs. Embrace the uncertainty. Choose your path. Commit to it wholeheartedly, and watch what happens. You might just surprise yourself. You're going to get better. But be aware there could be growing pains. The truth is that growth demands discomfort. It requires you to push beyond what's familiar, to confront your fears, to stretch yourself until it almost feels like you're going to break. As Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, put it, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. It's like lifting weights for your character. The heavier the weight, the stronger you become. Because in a way, a life without any challenges is a cage. It's familiar, it's safe, but it's also restricting. It's preventing you from reaching your full potential. Embracing the discomfort of a challenge is like picking the lock, shattering the bars, and stepping out into a world of possibilities. Because the real win isn't necessarily about surviving this challenge. It's about preparing yourself for the next one, because they're coming. Life throws curveballs. The trick is to learn how to hit them out of the park, or at least to avoid striking out completely. Take those lessons, big or small, internalize them, and then actively apply them to future challenges. Don't just file them away in the lessons learned section of your brain. Apply them. Put them into action. Remember that nobody, and I mean nobody, gets through life unscathed. Challenges are inevitable. The difference between those who crumble and those who conquer is not avoiding the adversity. It's about how they respond to it. When you lift weights, you don't do it once and suddenly become Hercules. You got to keep at it. And the thing about muscles is, they get sore. They resist. Sometimes you feel like you're actually getting weaker before you get stronger. It's the same with this mental game. Stoicism, at its heart, is a practice. It's an ongoing journey. The goal is the constant striving, the continuous refinement of your perspective. You won't win all your challenges because some battles are unwinnable. But even in the face of defeat, you can choose to maintain your integrity, your dignity, your inner peace. That is true strength. And that's why, as Marcus Aurelius put it, keep progressing all that you can. He wasn't telling you to reach some magical finish line. He was reminding you that the power lies in the doing, in the constant forward momentum, even if that momentum feels like a slow crawl sometimes. Even if you stumble, even if you fall, just keep moving. Finally, if this video helped you with your challenges, leave a comment below, sharing which strategy resonated most with you. Your insight might be exactly what another viewer needs to succeed in their own relationships. And remember to subscribe for more Stoic wisdom that builds mental strength and practical resilience. As Seneca, a great Stoic thinker, once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." Every challenge is one you can deal with and ultimately overcome. But by using Stoic wisdom, you can make that happen. Start now and start creating the life you want today.